Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Biden's trip again because things have changed. And it's not just the itinerary that changed. That's what people are really focusing on, but there's way more to it. It now has the potential to impact U.S. foreign policy and how the United States is seen throughout the region. Before, it was politically risky, but a moral imperative. Now, it's a moral imperative, and he can't fail. He can't. So, because of recent events, and let me just go ahead and stop, until I know, and by know, I mean have evidence, I don't have a comment on what happened other than to say it's horrible. But because of those events, it appears that the president will just be meeting with representatives from Israel. So he's going over there, meeting with Israel, and not meeting with Arab leaders because they're in a period of mourning. His whole mission in life now for this trip is to limit the Israeli ground offensive into Gaza. That's it. That's the only thing that matters. If he can do that, it's still a success. If he can't do that, he shouldn't go. That's how high stakes it has become. A lot of people had asked, because I was like, trust me, it's a good thing that they're looking at other options. The initial plan for the offensive into Gaza from Israel was just full on, massive. It would have been horrible for everybody, but it would have been most horrible for the civilians. It would have been really, really bad. They seem to be opening up to the idea of a more limited response. The more limited it is, the less horrible it is for the civilians. Biden's goal should be to encourage the least intrusive option that they have on the table. If he can do that, he can walk away from this, and other countries will see the United States showing up and saying, "Hey, calm down. Don't go overboard with this." That's good for the U.S. If he goes and he can't do that, or worse, they go with a full ground offensive while he's there, that's really bad for American foreign policy. Because even if he's in the room screaming, "Don't do this," the appearance is that he showed up and then it happened. That's not going to go over well. So his entire trip, it became a whole lot more high stakes, and it became one where it's kind of all or nothing. It's an imperative that he convince Israel not to go with a full-on ground offensive. The good news is that Israel appears to be leaning that way anyway. But we don't know. So this is one of those things where it's about optics. You know, when we talked about it yesterday, there were foreign policy people, like before the video was even out, as soon as the list of where he was going was made, people were like, why is he meeting with the president of the Palestinian Authority? And that's not like a slight. It's just, it's just a realistic evaluation of the situation. Foreign policy is about power. It doesn't have a lot. But going over there and not meeting with the president of the Palestinian Authority, that looks really, really bad. So it was on the list. Now he's going over there, he's going to Israel, and he's not meeting a lot of representatives from outside. He has to be successful here. The other question that kept coming in about the trip is, concern for his safety. Don't worry about that. He'll be fine. I know with a lot of the rhetoric right now, there are a lot of people that have been turned into cartoon villains. They understand what would happen. Every plane on those carriers would be airborne in seconds. They aren't. That does not seem like a likely outcome. Nobody's strategy is served by going after him. So that really shouldn't be a concern. But his trip became a whole lot more important. And I'm assuming, since it's still on, he thinks he can do it. Because otherwise, his advisors would definitely be telling him, you can't go now. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But it definitely took on a whole lot more meaning. And he has to be able to pull it off. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.